Welcome back. This will be a random and interesting video. I don't know what all will be in here, but one of the problems that I have been presented with is it is time for this 1991 truck with a big block to be moved, to have that big block harvested, and to have the body kind of cleaned up a little bit, you know, because you can see a little Minnesota in here. You know, like Vice Grip always says, you know, it's not so much here. It's kind of mostly, you know, right in here and there and there. But overall, the actual truck itself is pretty solid. It's just sheet metal, you know, and that falls within his wheelhouse. So, yeah, LMC truck will hook you up, because this is not the only one of these in the world that's a little rusty. So, you know, he wants to move that over. And the other big thing is, the whole reason he bought the truck in the first place was to harvest this engine, because, you know, 454s are usually pretty nice to have lying around. Although in the modern age, everything's a little different. Big blocks are still pretty fun. So, let's get started. Almost forgot. The whole reason we're even shooting a video, however, is that he went to start it, and it doesn't seem to, he thinks it doesn't have fuel. So, to prove that, since it's the dual pod style, just going to grab a timing light, hook it up, and then when he's cranking it over, as the timing light's flashing, you should be able to see the spray pattern. If we don't, then we'll go further. I don't remember on this 90 if we have a Schrader valve or not. If we do, it'll be way in the back, but I know in about 88 or 89, those kind of started disappearing, and you had to actually break into the lines and add a little hose. And so we'll see. If there isn't one, we'll figure it out. The other thing is, if there isn't fuel, then I'm going to go underneath and bang on the gas tank, and then we'll try it again and see if it comes back. Okay, he's going in, getting ready to crank it over for our first run. I got the gun pointed at the thing, and go for it. I don't know if you noticed that. There's no flashing either. Oh, that's because it fell off. It fell off. Okay. Okay, one more try. Okay, we gotta throw the charge back. Alright, we're gonna try it again. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Did you see how you didn't see any fuel? We don't have any fuel spraying. Okay, we're gonna listen for a pump. I heard no pump. Okay, hold my beer. Okay, let me go down there and smack it a few times. So I'll bring you guys back in just a second. Okay, I'm getting ready to do some more tapping. Okay, cycle the key. I hear no fuel pump. Wow, what are all these wires sitting under here? Somebody added something over the years. The important thing is, we did not hear the fuel pump. So, we don't know why we didn't hear it, but that's definitely where we're at. There's definitely no fuel pump. We have no fuel. So, where do we start from here? Well, step the first is we're going to go ahead and turn this guy off so we're not wasting it, and we'll put the charger back on. But the next thing we're going to do is go get our manual and start measuring, figuring out, do we just have a bad relay, a blown fuse, or is the pump itself bad, or is there wiring back at the pump that's bad? You know, we don't want to just rush into yanking the bed off yet. Not until we have to. Now, unfortunately, we're back exactly where we knew we would be. We've been playing, we've gone through, the relay's clicking, but when I ohm her down to ground, we're not seeing the pump. So, somewhere between this point and this point on the battery here, there's supposed to be all that wire, which should be 1 or 2 ohms, preferably nothing, but you know, one ohm in the wiring going back is acceptable. Then, whatever the winding of that fuel pump is, you know, 60 ohms, somewhere in there, I would assume, maybe 80, and then a short wire to ground. So that's what we should be seeing somewhere, 100, 200 ohms. I would be happy with that. I'm not sure on this pump what it is. Problem we're having is we're not seeing that resistance, which means there's a break somewhere, whether it's the pump, a broken wire, a bad connector. We got to find out. Okay, we're up under here trying to figure out what's going on here. So I can see that now, and I can see this wire harness here. I cannot see where it goes or where it comes from. So I'll keep working, but I think it's coming out of this harness here. So just keep looking. We have some disappointing news. Okay. So we come down here. Oh boy, we get all contorted. We look for our gray wire, which is this cavity right here. We ask our assistant to please turn the key. And that means we have power all the way to the connector, which means from the connector attached to the pump and the pump, we probably actually just have a bad fuel pump. Okay, well, it's been called. We are not spending the money trying to replace that pump and every line that will break. So we got to be manly men and push this car. Okay, we got the stuck brake unstuck. So now we're going to do this. Fun. Even with the truck, this isn't very fun to move. We think we're actually going to, we'll give it a try pushing it, but we think we're just going to do a pull through in the shop with the blue truck, because that's crazy. This thing does not like rolling. That guy's tired. We're figured out this is definitely the one with the sticky brake. So we threw a go jack on. Harlan's off to get reinforcements, and before we have to clear everything in there to drag through with a truck, we're going to try to push it in by hand. If we can, it is less work. Otherwise, we've got to clear out all this stuff, which is easy. That motor, it's okay. Oh, yeah, the 78, that's less fun. So, if we don't have to pull all this out, we don't want to. So, okay, here it is. Yeah. This is not as easy as you would think it would be. They make those go jacks look so simple on TV. That's why we left the tow strap, so I could yank the truck either way as it was coming in. And instead of pushing it back out and doing it again to center it, we're just going to go jack the backs too. But there, this heavy sucker is in. Man, that was the opposite of fun. And yes, I'm breathing heavy because I'm hot and I'm tired. You can see we got her nice and solid here, nice and solid there. The fronts are actually up off the go jacks already. The back's about to be. We just did the shake, rattle, and roll. And she's solid. So you want to bring her up a little more until the rear end clears. Okay. Let's give her a little. Because if you can't shake it, don't get under it. No, that's actually, we did a good job. Those seem to be pretty solid jack points right there. So we used the frame under that body mount and the frame between those two. So that worked slick. We're not wrong. This one is really, really hard to move. Yep. So without them being able to fight each other, they'll spin. Now, if both tires are on the ground, that won't happen. But right now, they will spin. Yeah, see how the other one's going? So, and then looking under here, big long setup. But we were not dropping that just to change a pump, just to drive it to where it is right now. That didn't make any sense. Don't know what this blue and red wire were. But somebody did some customizing, so I'm sure that's customized repair. In fact, you can see some wire here, so you never know. Think about it, this thing's 32 years old. Holy crap, this thing was built when I was in the Marine Corps. So yeah, that's old as dirt. So wow. Anyway, that's a 91 ton. Alright, probably going to turn it over to ShopRex here shortly. But this shows the desperation we have in Minnesota. See, we're willing to fix stuff like this. You go down south, you just don't see that. Problem is, it's a long walk from here. So, alright. At this point, thanks for watching. We've got a little extra. This does that. We don't know why. We figure it's already broken, so that we can't really mess it up. It's got a spot here I can chuck it, and a big nut. So we're going to grab a big wrench, take it apart, and see what's inside. Okay. So you can see we got a little valve down here. And all of this stuff here must be our actual shaft. So I don't know how all this works yet. Okay, oh, you see it. It's inside there. So, see, you can see it's moving right in there. I got to figure out how to get it apart a little further so we can see what's going on. Oh, I see a snap ring. Okay, that tells me something. There's a snap ring. We're starting to come apart, so it's a clip, that thing. Those are on the base of that, on that shaft. Here's the vanes sticking up. I took the collet off for the little chuck here. I'm going to pull that snap ring and we're going to see what's in there, because that slop is definitely still there. So see, we got those that go there. This is the one to the outside to this little guy here. That's the shield for this bearing, and all of that goes in here. And then this has to come out a little bit so those can slide out, and then this sits on here with that, and on here, and this looks like what's worn. So I think all of that comes down to all that wiggle and slop is some wear right in here. So we'll play with that. Okay, so this actually had a key in it, but I just ground it out, and I think this is going to act as my wafer. I'm going to see if that's the amount of shim it's going to take to make this tighten up. It's getting thinner and thinner. I got a little block of wood and some sandpaper, and do a little and a little and a little because I need it to be just the right size. So we slid all that back in. It wasn't that hard. You know, slide this guy in, put its snap ring in, then this all slid down, popped in. Oh, I guess you should see it. This could only key a certain way. It popped in. Now the bevel gear's in. So then we put a snap ring on the end up here, and we're guessing because there was a keyway, so hopefully we put the keyway in right, because see the top keyway here, I figured the bottom keyway had to line up the same, so we'll know soon enough. And then so we'll put the collet back on, and this tool, that it doesn't wivel anymore. Look at that. Well, let me clamp her down. Look at that, no more wiggle. So yeah, so under this grooved head here where this nut rides, it must have worn, or actually he said it when he bought it off the tool truck, it always wiggled. Well, there's a gap down to the snap ring, so we had to make a shim to take up that space, and now it doesn't wiggle anymore. And then this air sander is doing a weird thing where it stalls, so we're gonna do a quick, oh yeah, rebuilt that real quick too. But we're going to pull this apart and see, how does this work? We don't know. Well, you know, the screws on the side, pull one of the side guards on. And you can see this is what spins, you know, this little guy here. Oh, let me zoom you guys out. I didn't even notice that. That spins, drives this pin, shoots this foot back and forth. The problem we're seeing, and you can see there's some little wheels here that can turn, and they must only allow it to go so far, but these teeth are looking pretty gnarly. There's quite a bit missing in a few of these, and that may or may not be part of our problem. We're not sure. I'm also worried that I may have just unsynchronized something that was supposed to be synchronized. Okay, so we pulled all the pawls straight over, pulled the little U thing over, got it all lined up. So now we're not on the same tooth we were when we started. But watch this. It doesn't hang up anymore. So even though everything's worn, by moving it that one tooth off, the wear is different. So he'll probably get a few more miles out of this before he's got to replace it. And it's not that it's the most expensive tool, But why change it if you don't have to? It swears up and down there's only one more thing to look at. Because, you know, old man's getting tired. But these air tools, all three of these now work. And they didn't when I got here. That little E-clip on this SATA gun was not staying on anymore. And there's like a little Bellevue washer back there on this pin. So we had to modify a new clip and get it on there. And it looks like we have it pretty good. I think we'll do a couple drop tests, maybe throw it around the room a little bit and see if it falls off. And I thought I'd get a lot more reaction out of that over throwing one of his guns. And real quick, you can see he chiseled that all in and made it lay flat. So now, when he's snow plowing, there's a good chance that that might live. And he won't keep grabbing it with the plow. And with that, old man is tired. He's just doing a quick walk around, looking at a few things, and calling it a day. So this time, we are going to pass it over to ShopRex. Thanks for watching. ShopRex says, drink responsibly.